about their own country. But we leave that for the moment. Excellency, Mr. Wang Shuan, the minister from China, and I were engaged in the RCEP discussions 4 years ago. Do you still regret that we chose not to join the RCEP?
Thank you, Minister. China-Indian trade relationship has been growing very fast. Last year, our bilateral trade reached 130 billion US dollars. If there had been an FTA agreement between China and India, either bilaterally or in RCEP context, the trade potential existing between our two countries will be much further tapped to the benefit of our two peoples. So it is your decision to decide whether you will join RCEP, but RCEP's door will be always open to India. Thank you, Mr. Minister.
Minister Schoen, the concern is, Wang, the concern is slightly different. We are already concerned that the bilateral trade, even though $130 billion is largely skewed in favor of China, the Indian industry feels that if we had entered into this agreement with the RCEP, this trade would have certainly increased, but it would only have increased the trade deficit further, because we just can't seem to understand the kind of pricing, the kind of cost at which you are supplying goods. It's a matter that I think all the ministers would like to know. How you can supply goods at less than the raw material cost.
Minister Goyal, I would like to congratulate you to be a very successful trade minister for India, because even though you are not able to balance your trade with each and every of your trading partner, you have been very successful in maintaining a global trade balance overall for the country. So it is natural that you will have trade deficits with countries like China, but you will also have trade surpluses with other countries. It is very good that you are able to maintain your trade balance globally.
Well, as was said in the Rajya Sabha, in a conversation between the chairman of the Rajya Sabha and the leader of the opposition, where the leader of the opposition said to the chair that, Chairman, you're always looking to the right-hand side. You're not looking to the left. The left is where the leader of the opposition sits in the upper house of parliament. The chairman had retorted that his heart was on the left-hand side. So my heart here is with Catherine Tai from the United States of America. And why I say this is because it's been a complete change in working with Catherine as the USTR. She is the third USTR I've had the occasion to work with, but truly a phenomenal person, a phenomenal captain of trade and commerce for the United States of America, and her personal leadership and role that she and Valdez played at the World Trade Organization Ministerial in Geneva last year, MC12, was absolutely outstanding. And a big round of applause for Catherine for helping steer the MC12 last time around. Catherine, are you as optimistic for the MC13 in Abu Dhabi next year?
Piyush, in our line of work, we are always optimistic. So yes.
And I must say, she's also been instrumental in creating history for the World Trade Organization. And I say this because the United States and India were traditionally known to be having a lot of trade disputes. We had 7 trade disputes at the World Trade Organization. Under her leadership, our officials, governments, and the support that we got from President Biden and Prime Minister Modi, Catherine and I were able to resolve 6 out of those 7 disputes bilaterally without going to court. And I think that's a first for the World Trade Organization and possibly a template, as the DG of WTO mentioned. Catherine, do you see that as something more countries should adopt, working bilaterally to resolve such differences?
Look, I think in terms of trade disputes, trade frictions, trade disagreements, they happen all the time. And on this, Piyush, I wanted to take a step back and look at the G20 presidency of India and your theme for G20, which I really think, I've been thinking about it on all the way from Jaipur to here today. It's one planet, one family, one future. And it emphasizes that we are all a part of a whole. That family emphasis, I think, is really critical. So in all of our families, inevitably, there are going to be disagreements and tensions. When it comes to dispute settlement, the critical moment in every disagreement is that point at which there is a political alignment of wills to resolve the issue as much as possible. And I think that what we've done together is to demonstrate that commitment and that alignment of political will. So I think that that is always possible, and in fact, that is the whole point of a dispute settlement system, is to get the parties to the point where they will commit to each other to try to resolve the issue. And what we've done, I agree, is a really template-breaking pattern of partnership between the United States and India.